Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's often swept under the rug but is incredibly relevant: masturbation. Specifically, we're going to explore how the ancient teachings of Stoicism can help you break free from this habit and gain greater control over your life. Now you might be wondering, why Stoicism? What does a philosophy from thousands of years ago have to do with something so personal and contemporary? The answer lies in Stoicism's timeless insights into human nature, desire, and self-control, concepts that are just as relevant today as they were in the time of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of why giving in to impulses like masturbation might be holding you back, and how Stoic philosophy offers a pathway to self-mastery. We'll also dive into some practical tips rooted in Stoic teachings that you can apply to your daily life. So, let's get started. Section 1. The nature of desire, understanding the root cause. To understand why Stoicism advises against habits like masturbation, we need to begin with the concept of desire. The Stoics believed that desire, in its unchecked form, is a destructive force that can lead us away from a life of virtue and wisdom. But what does this really mean? Desire, according to Stoic thought, is not inherently bad. In fact, it's a natural part of being human. However, the Stoics made a clear distinction between desires that align with nature, those that contribute to a virtuous life, and those that lead us astray, causing us to lose control over ourselves. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When we give in to the desire to masturbate, we are allowing something external, our bodily urges, to control our actions. This is the opposite of the Stoic ideal, which emphasizes living according to reason and maintaining control over one's own mind and body. So why is this important? The Stoics believed that unchecked desires, especially those for fleeting pleasures, lead us to become slaves to our impulses. This slavery to desire is not just about the act itself, but about the broader impact it has on our ability to live a life of reason and virtue. Let's break this down further. When you engage in an activity like masturbation purely out of impulse, you're prioritizing immediate gratification over long-term well-being. This behavior creates a pattern of seeking comfort and pleasure at the expense of self-control and discipline. Over time, this can weaken your willpower, making it harder to resist not only sexual urges but other temptations as well, such as procrastination, unhealthy eating, or excessive use of social media. The Stoics understood that the human mind is naturally drawn to what feels good in the moment. However, they also knew that true happiness and fulfillment come from living in harmony with nature and reason, not from chasing after every fleeting pleasure. By mastering our desires, we take the first step toward living a life of greater freedom, peace, and self-discipline. Section 2. The Stoic concept of self-control, temperance as a virtue. One of the 4 cardinal virtues in Stoicism is temperance, which is often translated as self-control or moderation. This virtue is crucial for overcoming habits like masturbation because it teaches us to govern our impulses and act in accordance with our rational mind, rather than being driven by base desires. What is temperance? Temperance, in the Stoic sense, is about more than just restraint. It's about achieving balance and harmony within oneself. The Stoics believed that every action should be measured and deliberate, guided by reason rather than passion. When you cultivate temperance, you're not simply denying yourself pleasure. You're choosing to live in a way that aligns with your higher self, your true nature. Seneca, another influential Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of mastering oneself. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This statement gets to the heart of the matter. True freedom is not about doing whatever we want whenever we want, but about having the self-discipline to choose our actions wisely. The consequences of lacking self-control. When you lack self-control, you become more vulnerable to external influences, whether they're bodily urges, social pressures, or emotional impulses. Masturbation, when driven by sheer impulse, exemplifies this loss of control. It might seem harmless in the moment, but repeated indulgence can erode your ability to exercise restraint in other areas of life, leading to a cycle of instant gratification and long-term dissatisfaction. For the Stoics, this was unacceptable because it went against the very nature of what it means to be human. To them, being human meant living according to reason, which involves making decisions based on what is truly good for us in the long run, rather than what simply feels good in the moment. Section 3. Stoic Mindfulness, the practice of attention and presence. Another key teaching of Stoicism is the importance of living in the present moment. The Stoics called this prosos, a kind of focused attention or mindfulness that helps you stay aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Why mindfulness matters. When it comes to breaking a habit like masturbation, mindfulness can be a powerful tool. Often, the urge to masturbate arises not because of a conscious decision, but because of an automatic response to a certain trigger, whether it's boredom, stress, or simply a physical urge. By practicing mindfulness, you can become more aware of these triggers and create a space between the stimulus, the urge, and your response, the action. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about the importance of mindfulness in his Meditations. He urged his readers to constantly examine their own thoughts and actions, asking whether they were in alignment with their higher principles. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the context of masturbation, this means that the urge itself isn't the problem. It's your response to it that matters. Practicing mindfulness. Here's a practical way to apply Stoic mindfulness to breaking the habit of masturbation. 1. Identify triggers. Start by paying attention to when and why the urge arises. Is it when you're stressed, bored, lonely? By identifying the triggers, you can begin to address the underlying issues rather than simply reacting to the urge. 2. Pause and reflect. When the urge arises, don't act immediately. Instead, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this action aligned with my higher goals? Will it bring me closer to the person I want to become? This moment of reflection can be enough to break the automatic pattern and give you the space to make a more conscious choice. 3. Practice visualization. Another Stoic technique is to visualize the consequences of your actions. Before you act, imagine how you will feel afterward. Will you feel proud of your self-control, or will you feel regret for giving in? This technique can help you see beyond the immediate pleasure and consider the long-term effects of your actions. Section 4. The long-term perspective. Living a virtuous life. Stoicism teaches us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions rather than seeking immediate gratification. This principle is especially relevant when it comes to habits like masturbation, which often provide short-term pleasure but can have long-term negative effects. Eudaimonia, the Stoic ideal of a flourishing life. The Stoics believe that the ultimate goal of life is eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or living in accordance with nature. This state of flourishing is not about accumulating wealth, status, or pleasure, but about living a life of virtue, one that is guided by reason, wisdom, and self-control. In this context, the Stoics would argue that giving in to the urge to masturbate is a form of weakness that detracts from your ability to live a virtuous life. It's not just about the act itself, but about what it represents, a surrender to base desires rather than a commitment to higher ideals. Long-term consequences. Let's think about the long-term effects of regular masturbation. While it might provide a temporary release, ask yourself, does this habit contribute to my overall well-being, or does it drain my energy, focus, and drive? For many, habitual masturbation can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, or a lack of motivation. It can also create a dependency on external stimuli for pleasure, which can weaken your ability to find satisfaction in more meaningful activities. By resisting the urge to masturbate, you're not just denying yourself a momentary pleasure, you're actively choosing a path that aligns with your long-term goals and values. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, living in a way that is consistent with your highest self, your rational mind, and your commitment to virtue. Section 5. Practical tips for applying Stoicism to break the habit. Now that we've covered the Stoic philosophy behind self-control and the importance of living a virtuous life, let's talk about some practical ways to apply these teachings to your daily life. Breaking the habit of masturbation isn't easy, but with the right mindset and tools, it's entirely possible. 1. Practice mindfulness daily. As we discussed earlier, mindfulness is a powerful tool for breaking habits. Make it a daily practice to check in with yourself. Throughout the day, take a few moments to breathe deeply and ask yourself how you're feeling. Are you stressed, anxious, bored? By becoming more aware of your emotional state, you can catch the urge to masturbate before it takes hold. 2. Strengthen your willpower gradually. Stoicism teaches that self-mastery is achieved through small, consistent actions. Don't try to quit cold turkey if you're struggling with the habit. Instead, set small, achievable goals. For example, you might start by committing to 1 day without masturbation. Once you've achieved that, aim for 2 days, then 3, and so on. Each small victory strengthens your willpower and makes it easier to resist the urge in the future. 3. Focus on your higher goals. One of the most effective ways to overcome any habit is to focus on what you're working toward. Take some time to clearly define your long-term goals. What do you want to achieve in your life? How does giving in to the urge to masturbate affect your progress toward those goals? Write these goals down and keep them somewhere visible. Every time you're tempted to give in to the urge, remind yourself of what you're working toward. 4. Replace the habit with a positive activity. Sometimes breaking a habit is easier when you replace it with something positive. When you feel the urge to masturbate, redirect your energy into another activity. This could be exercise, reading, practicing a hobby, or even just going for a walk. The key is to find something that engages your mind and body in a way that is aligned with your values and goals. 5. Reflect daily, the evening meditation. The Stoics practiced a daily reflection, often referred to as the evening meditation. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions. Did you live according to your values today? Did you exercise self-control? What could you have done differently? This practice not only helps reinforce your commitment to self-mastery, but also provides insights into how you can improve. 6. Seek support and accountability. Don't be afraid to seek support if you're struggling to break the habit. This doesn't mean you need to share your struggles with everyone, but finding a trusted friend, mentor, or even an online community can provide you with the encouragement and accountability you need. Sometimes, just knowing that someone else is aware of your goals can give you the extra motivation to stay on track. 7. Cultivate a Stoic mindset. Finally, remember that Stoicism is not just about resisting temptation. It's about cultivating a mindset that prioritizes reason, virtue, and self-control in all aspects of life. Regularly study the works of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Reflect on their teachings and think about how you can apply them to your daily challenges. By immersing yourself in Stoic philosophy, you'll naturally start to adopt a more disciplined and virtuous approach to life. Stoicism offers us a powerful framework for understanding and mastering our desires. By applying these principles, you can break free from the habit of masturbation and take a step closer to living a life of virtue, discipline, and true freedom. Remember, the goal isn't just to stop masturbating, it's to gain control over your actions and align them with your highest values. As the Stoics teach us, true happiness comes not from indulging in every impulse, but from living a life of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're applying Stoic philosophy in your own life. Stay strong, stay disciplined. Thanks for watching and take care.